Hi, so this is a video going off of my iPhone 7 Plus camera argument that the iPhone 7 camera isn't actually like zooming off or zooming with optical, the telephoto lens. Anyways, so right now I have my Amiibo and I have my camera, which I'm wirelessly airplaying streaming to my computer, which is recording that video stream. So anyways, you can take a picture with this thing, right? And you press 2x zoom, and supposedly it's like telephoto. But when you are actually like covering up the telephoto lens, and then you take a 1x, it should be a wide angle lens, but then when you're taking a picture like 2x, you expect the image to be like blurred out because I'm covering it. Similarly, if I use my finger and cover up the telephoto lens and take a picture at 2x, it's supposed to use the telephoto lens, and I press the 1x, and it's supposed to use the wide angle lens, which it is, but the problem here is just that the telephoto lens isn't actually like telephoto. So recently when I went to the App Store and looked at my updates and went to the update panel and saw the updates, I read the reviews, not the reviews, I read the update notes for the Adobe Lightroom Adobe Lightroom for September 24th, 2016, and it says support for the iPhone 7 dual lens. So, okay, let's use the Adobe Lightroom because it finally has support for the dual lens. So here's my Adobe Lightroom, and I have a few photos that I took earlier and other photos I was editing, and you can actually take raw pictures with the Adobe Lightroom app. So this is the wide angle view, and you can take a picture, or I could take a picture in RAW or DNG, and then you can finally switch to the telephoto lens, and it actually takes a while to switch, and you can take a picture. So how do I know it's actually using the telephoto lens? I could actually just cover this up and take a picture, and we'll go to the wide angle lens. It's not covering it up. Similarly, if I were to cover up the wide angle lens on my right hand side and take a picture, it doesn't work. And then when I switch to the telephoto lens, it works. So that's something I noticed for the camera app on the iPhone. It doesn't actually do telephoto photos. And one way I could tell that it's not actually telephoto photos is that when you actually take a picture of telephoto items, let's go back to Lightroom. So when you actually take a picture of a telephoto photo, here's a sample that I took yesterday, last night. I was taking a picture of this duck. So this is taken with a wide angle lens. But when you actually take a telephoto lens at night, the telephoto lens is actually, the aperture is smaller, so there's less light going to it, and then it seems like it's even more noisy. And because I was taking the duck at the same distance, it was actually kind of more blurry because I guess the lens isn't designed for some object that close. So this is my finding about the iPhone 7 Plus, where optical zoom isn't actually optical unless you're using one of these dedicated apps like the Adobe Lightroom to actually take telephoto images. So what you're seeing here is just digital zoom. Kind of misleading, and it misled many people on YouTube to believe that this is actually just an optical zoom. And it might be, who knows, the image processing might have done something with the left lens, but I'm not the person who wrote the algorithm, so I don't know. And just to add, when I go to settings and I go to general and about, my current version is version 10.0.1, and there is a software update called 10.0.2, which I haven't installed, and once I install it, I will maybe write a description, or maybe I'll just add more to this video of what has changed and see if it actually addresses the issue of optical zoom, which I doubt it does. Anyways, as the truck is backing up, I'm currently updating to 10.0.2, and let's see if this issue actually fixes the problem, or this update actually fixes the camera lens problem. Okay, so now I've updated to the 10.0.2, and we can check that by going here, and we'll see that I'm at 10.0.2, and let's try this again. Let's get my Amiibos, and then go open the camera app, and then press zoom in, and the test is if I cover up the telephoto lens and I take a picture right next, it shouldn't do anything. And when I zoom in and press take a picture, it's supposed to use the other lens too. So obviously it's not using that lens still. Something else I noticed about the telephoto lens is that it's not really able to focus things close up. So that should also be another telltale sign that you're using the actual telephoto lens. So when you're actually like here at 1x, it's focused. And when you look at 2x, it's still focused. But when you actually use the telephoto lens, you would notice it's not. You would notice that it's not in focus. And also, notice the perspective shift. So, in this angle, what can I distinctly see? Nothing really in particular, but because the lens actually shifts a little bit to the right in the wide angle, you should see the image shifts a little bit. But here, in the camera, it doesn't actually shift. So we're just zooming in. So perspectives should shift when you use a telephoto lens as well. So if you notice, at first what I have cropped like the perfect center for a wide angle lens, now I have recropped it because it's slightly to the left. And then when I go back to the wide angle lens, you notice this image is slightly towards the left. So I need to go refocus and put it in the center. It'll make sense if I have a grid mark here. So now KK Slider's in the grid, but when I switch to telephoto lens, he should be off the grid because we're no longer at the same perspective. So that's something I noticed about the iPhone 7. The telephoto lens is actually not telephoto when you use the camera app. So, hey, hate me! And that's kind of misleading because on Apple's website you could telephoto and do optical zoom by pressing that button or scrolling, but it's not real. Anyways, that's his updates. San Francisco is currently like on a hot day, so San Francisco homes don't usually have air conditioning. It's rare, so right now I just have the window open and it's kind of hot. And we can actually look at the weather. The weather right now is 75. That's kind of rare. Oh, it's 80. Oh my god, 82.